The next one on my list, don't forget my list is not in any particular order till I get to number 1. It's came to me the same way that the Third Machine one came to me. The band themselves sent me a link to their new video, and it was really good. And then they sent me, and when I did the first video, their album wasn't out. It was like their forthcoming album, so here's a song off it, and it was a band called Imperial Sin. And when they did their album, they sent me their album. But going back to what I just said about Third Machine, I am genuinely not this easily bought. But don't worry, please send me free stuff. I love free stuff as much as the next person. Hats, t-shirts, I'm open to anything. And it's an album called Ritual Murder. It's their debut album, Imperial Sin, from Poland. You want some death? You want some blackened death metal? There you go, because that is... It's such a good piece of work. There's so much, you know, like, I'm trying to pick all my work. Thing is, we just wing this. I'm just saying this off the top of my head, so sometimes my sentences don't line up properly, but there's a quality to it. You know, we're talking about blackened death metal here, but it's got a quality. The production's fantastic, but there's a quality to the songs that just makes you go, ooh, you know, it's that X factor or whatever the term we're talking about. But there's something indefinable sometimes, isn't it, that just makes you go, this is really good. This is better than average or whatever. There's something that makes it stand out. So Imperial Sin, yes, they sent me their album, and I did a full album review actually. If you look back in my channel, you'll find a full album review of the Imperial Sin album, as well as there's a separate video which I did. I can't remember which song it was. Doesn't really matter, does it? It might have been too many, but before the album was out, go back and look up Imperial Sin, or go and look on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, this was one of those, another great surprise. I can remember standing on the train platform at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and everyone around me stood like this, waiting for the train. I got this in my ears. I'm just going on the outside. I'm stood like everyone else. But yeah, just loved it. Absolutely loved it. Fantastic sort of discovery.
Yeah, I should check that out.
Which without, there you go. Which just lending it to him, Imperial Sin, he'll buy one. Yeah, but without this channel, I just wouldn't have known they existed. Yeah. It's just
because it's only so many hours in the day.
Absolutely,
you can listen to stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, and I wonder that sometimes when I say, oh, I really like this song, but I didn't hear the album. I wonder if sometimes people watching think, well, why not? Why didn't you immediately go and get the album? But there's so many, and we have like real lives and things. That there is only so much time that you can get through all of this stuff. But anyway, you'll go.
Nah. Number 5, and to be honest, the top 5 are
we're only up to 5.
Fairly interchangeable. But this is War of the Worlds Part 1 by Michael Romeo. We did video
a song of which we did
not so long ago. Oh, the riffs, man. The riffs are just out of this world.
The riffs.
My respect, Kingdom for a riff. And Michael Romeo's got a bucket load of them. It's just fantastic. And
so is he like a Tremonti then?
He doesn't sing, no.
No, but as when it comes to like just chucking out tons of
I think it's more imaginative
work
in regards to his riffing than Tremonti.
Oh, okay.
They're very
I'll put you in a bad spot
not
here,
really comparable. But so the invention and the creativeness in his riffs are almost second to none, I think. And the only way is that it's down at number 5. I know it's interchangeable, but I have to put number 5 because it has the tendency to put in sort of a soundtrack metal, as it were. So it has these big soundscapes that sound to me like they've been done on a budget,
right?
And it kind of puts me off a little bit.
Okay.
Sometimes it sounds really good, sometimes it doesn't,
right?
And then another riff will kick in. I think if they took most of the keyboard, more of the electronic stuff out.
And keyboards.
I think I probably might have made.
That's why you never really got on with symphonic metal, do you think?
No, not really.
Too many damn keyboard players.
But the riffs and the old performances are really good. And my standout song in that is a song called Oblivion. It's a real slow head nodder. It's just wonderful, wonderful. Looking forward to part 2 whenever that's out. Hopefully next year.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised actually. I do like Symphony X, but I thought
unless Symphony X get back together, in which case it might be delayed. You know, an album on a tour.
If I was part of Symphony X, and I heard War of the Bulls Part 1, I'd be a bit jealous. Why did he come up with these riffs in his main band?
So we're halfway through. It's only been an hour and a half. And what might not be apparent to everyone is that I have no idea. Right up until we put them on the screen in front of us so we could remember what it was, I had no idea what was on his list, and Paz had no idea what was on my list, so we did these completely separately. It's surprising to me how few things are crossing over, to be honest. But then I got a lot of my list came from a different route to yours, I suppose. So yeah. Anyway, so whereas if we do this for the whole of next year, I think there's a good chance our lists might start to align a bit more especially if we apply my rules of what I discovered through the channel this year, kind of thing. But anyway, okay. So the next one on the list is a Brazilian band called Project 46. I did a song called Era 55 without a clue who Project 46 were. It was literally a random recommendation, and I thought, oh, Brazil, I know some bands. I know Sepultura like everyone else, but I don't really know what else is from Brazil. You kind of think, unfortunately, some bands just eclipse everything else, don't they? And I heard Era 55 by Project 46, and just kind of blown away by it, but not completely blown away, but just blown away to the point of, good grief, there's something to this, again, there's something special here. But then I did a song called Panico, and that was it. I was nailed then. Panico is just an amazing song. I don't know if you're even aware of it. And the video's clever but very simple. It's just them playing in a circle. But they've done it, as far as I can tell, and this I remember this distinctly. The camera shot is like one shot, so he just moves around, but the camera is focusing on the right person at the right time. Yeah. So the choreography must have been amazing for this camera to move around and be on the singer at the right time, but it never really stops, and on the guitarist at the right, and then to the drummer, and the camera, and it goes behind the drummer, and so probably some guy with a steady cam who's with someone just literally holding a stopwatch and following him around. But it's just so. But the videos are they're entertaining, and they're hooks, but they're not important because you don't see them when you're driving in your car listening to music. So to me, they're not lasting. They're just like hooks to get you in, aren't they? But Panico was just this. I just thought, oh, good grief, wow. So Project 46 from Brazil is definitely on my list of top 10 things I have discovered through this channel this year. They're just something else.
I'll check that out. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, they also seem to be super popular in Brazil.
What type of stuff is it? Where do you classify them as?
I'm going to get in trouble now for anything I say, aren't I? There's no way I can do this. They're pretty harsh. They're not. You wouldn't invite them to your bar mitzvah or anything, or your wedding.
I would.
As the wedding band.
So everyone else.
They're sing about the mess that they. I don't know if it is, but the mess that they think Brazil is in, kind of thing.
I remember. I might have seen it actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And it's harsh. It's in your face, and it's really well produced. That's the thing, So because I have a thing about production, don't I? I've just got this thing, and look up Project 46. Look up Panico by Project 46. Go and look at that video. Go and watch my video on it, but no, go and watch Panico by Project 46, and it's just when it's over, you kind of go kind of thing, Great.
Okay. My number 4 is Change of Generations by Unlucky Morpheus. What a great album that is unrelenting in its pace.
And I think some of these are not on my list simply because I think they're the ones that I did just around Christmas time. So I did them in 2017. Yeah. I did a few, and
because I one of the first videos you did this channel, because I recommended 3 that Fuki was singing on.
That's right.
One of these was Black Pentagram by Unlucky Morpheus.
And that was on something like the 26th of December, so they couldn't go on my list otherwise, because Unlucky Morpheus is just fantastic.
The musicianship, the pace of it. I mean, as a guitar player, I just love to it's like the Michael Romeo effect. Just listen to masters of their craft, and every person in Unlucky Morpheus is amazing. And you can hear the violin player as well on the album,
which is something I always go on about. You just see him soaring away,
popped up in the
can't hear a damn thing
in the mix. Like I say, I think we had this conversation when we did one of their songs not so long ago. Or we discussed them. Is they start off 100 miles an hour for the opening track, and the next one's 100 miles an hour, and the next one's 100 miles an hour, and so it goes on. They do kind of mix up a little bit, but it again, bit like Love Bites. Very little in the way of ballads. It is straight up power metal, so well performed, so fast.
Yeah,
and there's so much melody over the top.
Just watching an Unlucky Morpheus video, like you watch Cadaver, and you just think, how are you doing this?
It's just great to watch some people who just mastered whatever.
Yeah, and that's what it is, isn't it? You're a master of your craft, and wow. And
the title track, Change of Generations, the solo bit in that, it just makes me laugh because it's just so brilliant.
Yeah, you kind of start laughing with that kind of I give up.
I packed in for 2 days after listening to that because it was just magical. It really was.
Okay, I love Unlucky Morpheus, and they probably would have been on my list, but I didn't discover them this year.
It's probably not an album for all times because it is so unrelenting in its speed. It's not particularly heavy, but speed is a type of heaviness, I guess.
Yeah, wears you down sometimes. Can you get a bit worn out?
A bit like Dragon Force. You can't listen to Dragon Force all the time because it's just. Well, I think there's more to Unlucky Morpheus is the balance, the way they do the albums.
I don't even think you're fair. Go with the Dragon. Well, that's just me. I just think Dragon Force do the same song over and over and over again, and I know some people love them. But having seen Dragon Force live, don't know how they're getting into our top 10 conversation. It was like watching a band do the same song 9 times when I saw them live. So, no. Anyway. Whereas Unlucky Morpheus, I think, have got a million ideas.
But
they're all 100 miles an hour.
I just want to say the pace of it. Yeah. But what an album that is, yeah.
Okay. Next one. I'm into my top 3, but mine aren't a top 3. Like I say, only the number 1 is my number 1. If you see what I mean. So Avatar. I discovered this in a really odd way. I was on YouTube, unsurprisingly, and this came on as an advert. You know, sometimes you get an advert and it's a full-length song.
Yeah.
This, I think. When I saw the Avatar one, it was a statue for the king. It was the first time I'd come across that, where someone had stuck a song on as a full song as an advert. And I watched about 30 seconds of it and stopped it and thought, I have to do this song. And I didn't even know what came next, and I thought, but that 30 seconds, I thought, I have to do this for my channel. And a statue of the king for the king is just such an entertaining song. I just loved it so much. It just hit a certain thing in me that just went joy. It was just. The video is hilarious, but the song is just so good. And Avatar used to be apparently a death metal band, and they've transformed themselves into this circus act that's also like a death that has these death metal. And I believe live they're amazing, and I can believe it because you can just watching it, you go, yeah, these people know what they're doing, you know. But they've got this persona that they've created, this whole thing around them, which I can imagine some people would just won't like. But then I listen to more of their stuff, like Hail the Apocalypse. I got the whole album Hail the Apocalypse, and you know, and you listen to some of their other songs, and you realise, you know, there is a lot of depth to them as well. They're not just this veneer of hilarity kind of thing. There is depth to their songs. Bloody Angel I've done that on this channel. Bloody Angel is just a song and a half. So yeah, Avatars, it's definitely one of my... And I know they've been around for a long time, but I discovered them this year, and it's just one of my... Definitely in my top 10 discoveries this year. I'd love to see them live. Maybe they'll come round. Everyone comes to Manchester eventually, don't they? So
maybe. Yeah, they do. Everyone comes to Manchester eventually.
Yeah.
Into the top 3 now. Top 3. Number 3 is Prevail 2 by Cobra and the Lotus.
Not heard it.
I think anyone who's seen my t-shirts on this channel know I'm a Cobra and the Lotus fan. I have to admit, I was a bit underwhelmed by it when I first heard it. I think I loved Prevail 1 a lot, and this didn't feel like a progression, but again, a bit like the Frozen Crown album, I kept going back to it because there's 3 songs in the middle that I really loved. Fallen Empire is one of them, Heartache and Velvet Roses. They just held it together and it kept me going back, and since then I've ended up liking all of it.
Right.
It's one of those growers, and I think that'll probably be... Prevail 2 will be with me longer than Prevail 1, because I like Prevail 1 almost instantly.
Sometimes it happens,
for quite a while.
Yeah, it's only like straight away, doesn't last.
And Prevail 2, I'm still playing it now after it's been out 10 months or something like that. I still play it,
right?
Because you know he's growing on you, and it just sounds like, you know, it would make one amazing album. So I think they made the right choice to split the 2. Nothing wrong with having an album a year, you know, put the work in.
Absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
I can't say anything about that because I don't know it.
Lots of solid tunes, great performances. I'm making it sound worse than ones that I've already mentioned, but it just, I think because it's grown, you know, I think that album will be with me for the next few years, until they do another one at least. Yeah, got under my skin, I think, and I still play it quite a lot. Okay,
in that case, I'm down to my second to last one, but like I say, second to last one, not number 2. Allegion. I just discovered this amazing thing called Allegion that just from... I like the songs, don't get me wrong, I love their songs, otherwise what would be the point? But I just discovered this, what to me feels like a different level of technical jiggery-pokery, and it just made an impression on me that it's another one of those things that I keep telling people to watch. You know, go and watch the Allegiance. Go and watch this video by Allegion, and it's... I just love it. There's not a lot I can say about Allegion other than I'm just mesmerised whenever I love their playthrough videos. I'm just mesmerised by them. But I like the songs too, and the one with Bjorn Strid on. Bjorn Strid's on everything, of course. I was just like, I didn't even know the words, but I was singing it for days. You know, na 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 na, and I was just like around the house and stuff. So you know, something stuck then, and it definitely in the top 10 of things I have discovered this year. It was just like Allegion is just this thing that just left me with my mouth hanging open. I think that's what it is, and just had that effect of. So
and it's good. We've both been into listening to metal for many decades.
Yeah,
and it's still nice to discover a band, Allegion, and like Unlucky Morpheus still has musicians, and it still manages to surprise.
Still has.
Look at that.
After decades and decades of still being able to go, oh good grief, you know. Yeah. And that's I mean, metal is so diverse that metal is no longer, the word doesn't mean anything anymore, does it? You know, it's the subgenres of metal are so diverse that someone can love that and hate that and still be metal.
Yeah.
And I think it's so big that even with, you know, 60 years between us of listening to it, there's still stuff you haven't found, or even a kind of, I know new genres are being created all the time, but still you can just hear, how do you create a new genre? How do you make a new thing and it still be metal? And that's hence this top 10 of things I've discovered this year. You know, it's like, this is great. I know where it fits in the metal, you know, sort of.
But how you find
family tree,
how you start a new genre is by taking the best of what you've listened to and just doing what you want to do, and not being a copycat band. Yeah,
I guess. Which is why Legion have no money.
Yeah, no one else might not be a fan of you, but it's doing. How does anyone push the boundaries? How does anyone create anything new if you just?
Well, look at Hollywood. They're just making remakes and after remake after sequel after sequel, and
you don't actually come up with anything new. Just
you have to go to the smaller budget films before you start getting into more diversity. And I guess it's the same in music. Everyone wants another Iron Maiden or Metallica, or the record companies, I mean, by everyone. Anyway,